So when comparing these two, the first thing we want to look at is the earning potential. So as a freelancer, pretty much your earnings is unlimited, but sometimes it may be inconsistent. So as a freelancer, you're able to go out, get different clients if that's the route you choose, or you can go out, get contracts, which contracts usually pay pretty decent and usually pay a little bit more than full time. So as a freelancer, you don't really have that ceiling that you're on your head. So where you're not limited to the amount of money that you can make. So this all depends on your drive. So pretty much in this particular role, or if you're going this particular route, you eat what you kill. A lot of times you hear a lot of people in sales say that make commission, but pretty much that's what happens. You eat what you kill. So as you go out and start getting clients, then you build up your income. But usually just starting out, before you build that client base, or maybe you go out to different mom and pop shops that may need some kind of IT help or offer your services to these different spots, then like I said, you set up that clientele, then you're able to put them on a revolving contract or maybe a monthly contract for support. Then your income starts to build up. But usually in the first beginning, the income is always unlimited because it just depends on how many clients you get, how hard you go at it. But it's also inconsistent, where with a full-time job, usually full-time jobs, we have that, what some people may call that safety net, because, you're guaranteed to get paid, whether you get paid every week, or maybe you get paid every other week, or maybe you get paid once a month. So usually you have that consistent income, but then you also have that ceiling where you already know what's your maximum that you're going to make. So if you're in a job and the pay range is 70 to 80,000, then okay, my ceiling is that 80,000. Once I hit that ceiling, then I got to decide, okay, am I going to pivot to another role within the company? Or let's say if I'm in a networking position, now I got to decide, okay, once I hit my ceiling, if I know that ceiling is 80 grand, now I got to decide, okay, what's my next move? So I can stay there and nothing is wrong with that. Totally nothing is wrong with it. So you can stay there. You get your average bonus or your average pay increase every year, and you're good to go. Or you can say, okay, what's my next move? Okay, I can pivot to another company where I got the opportunity to move up higher. Let's say at the current role I'm at, the highest it goes is a senior network engineer. But now I done been in this role for a couple years. Now I can pivot out to another company where they may, the highest networking role they have may go to a networking architect or even something higher than that. So at this full-time role, a lot of times there's some of the decisions you have to deal with. So, but on the bright side, that income is consistent, but when you're getting paid, you have health care, insurance, you have 401k. As a freelancer, you can have all that, but a lot of times you got to do it all yourself. You don't have no one matching your retirement, where if you're at a decent job, they may say we match 10%, up to 10% or whatever you put in towards your retirement. So you may not have that as a freelancer, but that is some of the consistent things that you have in a full-time position. And like I said, ain't nothing wrong with either one of these. A lot of times, like I said, it just depends on the person. I've met people that have that drive and they've been able to go out, get different clients, build up that clientele, put them on contract, and then start making a real decent income to where their income pretty much overcomes what they would have been making in a full-time role. And then I've seen it vice versa, where someone may not go out and do all the freelancing and things like that, because you have to be a different kind of person in order to go out and do things like that. So some people just may be cool with just getting that full-time gig that pays pretty well, where, okay, I go in, I do my hours, then I go home. Unless you're in networking or unless you're in a higher up field where you may have on call. But then it's all going to depend on the size of your team. So you could have a team to where I'm not going on call, but once every 2 months or something like that. So a lot of times there's some of the things that you have to consider in whichever route that you decide to go within your career. So the next thing I want to compare between the two is the flexibility and the work-life balance. So as a freelancer, you're very flexible because you can kind of line up gigs or line up roles depending on your schedule or what schedule you want to do. But then also, if you're just starting out, then you may not have too much flexibility because you may end up working odd hours or working the hours that whatever your client has agreed for you to work, or you maybe it's a job where, okay, we're open during the day for business hours, and you only can come in and do your whatever needs to be fixed on the IT side or any kind of upgrades. You have to come in late at night once we close and get all that done by the next morning before we open back up. So it could be one of those things where you could find yourself working odd hours, but then also on the other side of that is you must also build up that clientele, like I was saying earlier, where you must be able to keep work coming in. So you have to almost build what's called a funnel, where you have that ad going out that's advertising your services that brings clients in, and hopefully you're able to put them on a contract or a reoccurring subscription base or something where you can get paid for your support and supporting these companies, to where it could end up where you may have 5 to 10 different businesses that you support, and you have them all on contract. So it's one of the things where it starts out small, but it could grow real big. But usually the work-life balance with this is most people I know that do it, they love it because pretty much they set it up on the hours that they want. Where, okay, if I have a couple different companies that I'm supporting, maybe I have it set up to where, okay, I'll only support you between these hours. This is my working hours. So maybe my working hours is from 12 in the afternoon to 6 in the afternoon. So 12 at noon to 6 that evening. So then they're aware of my hours that I work, so they can kind of work with me. Or it may be something where you have to work with their business depending on their business hours. But as a freelancer, a lot of times like this can be up in the air with the flexibility and the work-life balance. And then looking at a full-time employee, so usually as a full-time employee, you're working fixed hours. So this may be that I work first shift. I work from 9 to 5 every day, Monday through Friday. I may have to work every other weekend or something like that. But usually with these positions, to me, I think it's less flexibility, because depending on your job role, you could have one of those jobs where it's hard for you to take off right at the spur of the moment. So if something comes up in the morning, it might be hard for you to get off. So, and then also, depending on your team, you may have to plan your vacation days. So everyone on the team has to plan the different vacation days, because our team may be so small where we all can't be off on the same day. So this means that, okay, somebody's every year we're going to rotate on who gets Thanksgiving and Christmas off. So that's going to rotate every year. And then also your other days off, you need to make sure that, okay, no one else is going to be off, or a lot of times it has to be approved. So your supervisor will be able to tell you, oh, somebody else done took that day and we got to have so many people here on the team in case something goes down or something like that. So a lot of times this full-time position, most people think that is less flexible. I kind of agree with that. You do have fixed hours. So depending on your personality, trying to build up a freelancing gig or something like that where you can build up your clientele may be the best option for you. But then if you're cool with those fixed hours, you know your hours and everything like that, a lot of times you're able to plan around it. So sometimes I know for me, I work a full-time position as well as doing this. So I'm able to plan around my work hours to where, okay, if I have a doctor's appointment or if I have a dentist appointment, I'm able to try to plan those dentist appointments on the days I know that either I'm off, or the days where I have an early day, or a day where I can get off a little bit early. But I do have to take the time to plan that. So some people, just depends on your personality. Some people could never get with that type of system. So some people just don't like being in the system like that. So some people, you know, you meet some people that just not a corporate person. So they vow to never go corporate or anything like that. So a lot of times, like I said, it just depends on the personality. But usually as a freelance role, I think you can plan things around your schedule, depending on your clients. Where at full time, a lot of times it's going to be fixed hours, less flexibility.